Hi, welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, my name's Paul and I am the Professor of Film. I love everything to do with film photography, everything. I love 35mm SLR cameras, I love point and shoot cameras, I like 127 film, I like 120 film, you name it, I love it. And I thought I'd do something a little bit different this year, 2023. I know that a lot of you know that I love to bring cameras back to life. I can't bear the thought of an old camera sitting on a shelf getting dusty and not doing anything, or sitting in a thrift shop or a charity shop. I think it's really important that cameras are brought back to life and used, especially ones that have lived a life and have experienced photography. I mean, you know, there's a lot of cameras out there that people are asking millions and billions of pounds for, maybe not that much, because they're almost pristine. And that's great, but think of the fun you're missing out on. So today I'm going to talk about a camera that I discovered in a thrift shop, and it wasn't very expensive. It was no money at all, really, because nobody knows whether it's working. So I've got it here. We're going to look at it together and we're going to find out what the camera is capable of, what it can do, and how much do you think it might be worth. So here we go. It's Konica TCX. It's a 35mm SLR camera, single lens reflex camera, which means that it's got a mirror inside. So you look through the viewfinder and you can see what the lens can see. It's fully manual focus. You can set the shutter speed and you can set the aperture. It has a battery in it. We're going to see if that works in a minute. It has a battery in it, an on-off switch, and the reason for the battery is, I'm guessing, if you see if the light meter works. So let's have a look. It takes a, well, that's nice and simple, it takes a AAA. That's easily okay. So let's have a look. So you have a ISO lever here so that you can set the ISO. Let's have a little look inside. Now, here you can see you have the notches. That means that it's a DX camera. DX means that rolls of film have a DX side, which means that they have, I don't know, portions that carry the data of what ISO the film is, what ASA the film is. And when you put the film in, you set this to DX and the camera automatically knows. Also, of course, you might not have a DX film, you might have an older film that doesn't carry the DX. So then in that case, then you can set your ISO here. Obviously, that would also give you the opportunity of setting a different ISO to what the film in the camera actually is, which is a bit like doing the plus or minus exposure that you can do on a digital camera. So yeah, so far so good. So does it work? That's the question. Well, let's have a look at the lens first of all and see what we've got. It's a f1.8 50mm lens, which is absolutely standard for a 35mm SLR camera. It has f-stops from f1.8, which is going to give you beautiful bokeh, up to f22. So everything in focus from a Nance Willy to the mountains in the background. So that's good news. It also has AE. Now, as far as I'm aware, that would mean that you have aperture. You can set the aperture on the camera. No, sorry, you can set the shutter speed on the camera, and the camera will automatically set the aperture. So that'd be shutter speed priority, which is quite cool on a little camera like this. So there's, you can see, is the mirror. But what I can see is there's a hair in there. So let's have a look. Just going to get my blower and we'll see what we can do. No, unfortunately the hair is inside. Yeah, let me just look through the viewfinder. Yes, sadly there is a hair up here in the prism. Obviously it won't have any effect whatsoever on the pictures themselves, because it's not between the lens and the film. The film sits behind that mirror there. So if I set this to B, put it on, wind it on, oh I can, and take a picture, You can see the shutter goes, the mirror flips up, and that's where the film would be behind there. So there's nothing between the lens and that would cause a problem. So that's working fine. So let's put the lens back on. Okay, the lens looks very clean actually. I'm very pleased with that. What else have we got here? Right, so first of all I'm going to have a look through the viewfinder. Yes, I can see there's a hair in here, but what I can also see is I can see that the aperture needle's working fine, so that means the light meter's working. So that's even better. I'm rather pleased with this little camera. Now don't forget to watch till the end, because at the end of the video I'll show you some pictures I'm going to take with it. We're going to load it up with a film in a minute, and you can see the pictures I can take. So let's get back to this baby. So what do we have? We have a beautiful, as far as I'm concerned, Konica SLR camera, a 50mm lens, which is clean as a whistle, a 1.8 f1.8 for beautiful bokeh, up to f22, plus it has shutter priority, where I can set the shutter speed and the camera will decide on the aperture purely on the light meter. So I can take street photography, would be ideal because I don't need to worry. All I'd need to do is do my zone focusing, and we'd know exactly where we are. Oh yeah, quick note on zone focusing for if you don't know what that means. Let's say for argument's sake that we're taking a picture at f11, and rather than turning the infinity to the infinity point, like you were focusing on the far distance, if you bring back that infinity point to f11 there, you've increased. So if you look at f11 there and f11 there, from that point f11 there gives you from 15 to infinity, but if I turn that to that f11 there, then you've increased your depth of field. So that's what zone focusing means. It means that if you turn the infinity back to where it is on there, then you'll get your zone focusing in. I've got a whole video about zone focusing if you have a look at my channel. Everything to do with film photography in my channel. It's not just about cameras. I talk about film, I talk about what types of film there are, I talk about how to put a strap on a camera properly, etc, etc. Even how to clean a camera. Anyway, just get back to this baby. Remember to wait till the end when you'll see the pictures that I'm going to take with this, but let's load the camera up. That's a smashing little camera. Sadly it came with a Canon camera cover, lens cover, but hey, you know, what's there to say? So, I suppose we better load a film into it. Don't forget guys to subscribe to my channel if you're liking what you're seeing. Go and have a look at the other things I'm doing. There's lots of things on my channel that you can go and view, and I'll be doing lots more of these cameras I buy in thrift stores and everything. Now, the only problem I have, this is a roll of My Heart film. It's Chinese. It used to be a lovely film called Lucky Star, I think, Chinese film. It was really lovely. It was like painting with watercolours. It was all the colours would wash into each other. I really liked that. But then they just got a bit cheeky and started doing film, basically Fuji film that was out of date, and then sticking their own label on it. You'll notice there's no DX code on here. The problem now is that this is a plastic cover, so I don't know, no idea what film this is. I really haven't got no idea at all. It's supposed to be C41 colour film, so we'll find out. Now this is supposed to pick up on its own, so let's see if it does that. Okay, now like I say, the problem I've got is make sure that it picks up on the teeth both sides. Right, you see? Try again. There we go, got it that time. Right, the room. Because it's the plastic rather than a metal cassette, it sits rather proudly in there. So you wind this back to make sure that the film spool's taken up, and you can see by that it has. So we're ready to go. So come back, well, don't need to come back. When I've taken the film and exposed the pictures and printed them up, I'll add them to the end of the video. Hope you've enjoyed. Like I said, don't forget, subscribe, go and have a look and see what I've been doing on my channel. There's loads of stuff on there, loads more to come. Don't forget, if you click the bell icon, then you'll know whenever I upload a new video. Thanks very much for watching. It's been fun, and I'm looking forward to doing the next camera, which would also be a 35mm SLR. Thank you again.